Sometimes it becomes necessary to revise your depreciation because of expenditures that take place during an asset's useful life. So we'll look at that process right now, right here. When you have to spend money on an asset in the middle of its life, you have to determine whether you're just making ordinary repairs or you're really improving the life, or extending the life of the asset. So you kind of look at, all right, am I doing normal ongoing repairs, or am I like rebuilding an engine or something? Ordinary repairs just get expensed as repairs and maintenance. They don't affect depreciation or the basis, or the cost, I should say, of the asset at all. However, in contrast to that, additions and improvements, costs that really increase the life of the asset, they get added to the cost of the asset, and then the depreciation calculation is affected by that. The book doesn't go through, it doesn't really go into examples of how to do this. You might come across one or two in your homework problems. I'll have to just tell you this basically. So what you do to revise your depreciation is you look at what is the book value of the asset at the time I made this additional, this improvement. So if I had an asset that cost $13,000 and my book value is down to $8,000 at the time I have to make this improvement. So you find that $8,000 amount, and then you add the extra cost that you spend on the improvement. Say you spend $3,000 to rebuild an engine. That $3,000 gets added to the $8,000, and now you have an $11,000 amount that needs to get depreciated over the new remaining life. Okay, so you just divide that 11 by the new remaining life, and you get a new depreciation amount per year, and you just continue on from there, recording depreciation expense like you did before. Disposals, study objective 5. What if you sell an asset? How do you record the disposal? What you do is you have to compute, well, basically you have to update, first of all, the book kind of talks about it in gain and loss sense, but essentially you have a couple of steps in recording disposals. First, you have to update your depreciation expense calculation through the disposal date, and then you have to record the disposal. So I think in this example right here, they're going to sell the asset on July 1. Depreciation for the first 6 months of 2010 is $8,000. So they record depreciation expense up through the disposal date, and then they're going to do the disposal entry. So they're getting paid $16,000 for this asset. You know you can debit cash for $16,000. The furniture had cost $60,000. That was the cost. So that's still sitting on your balance sheet as the cost. So you have to credit the asset for the $60,000 and debit away accumulated depreciation, the amount of AD, the amount of depreciation that's been recorded so far has to be removed from your balance sheet, because the asset's going away, the AD related to that asset has to go away. So once you get these three things recorded, because you know the cash, you know the cost originally, and you know AD to date, then you still are going to need usually either a debit or a credit to make this entry balance. So you've got $65,000 in debits and $60,000 in credits. So you need a credit of $5,000 to make it balance. A $5,000 credit means you have a gain on disposal because it's a credit. If the credits were bigger than the debits, then you would need a debit to make it balance, and that would be a loss on disposal. You can also calculate the amount, if you don't want to use this plugging approach, you can also calculate the amount of the gain or loss by looking at what's the cost of the furniture, what AD did you have on the furniture to date. That's the book value. If you get more from that asset than your book value, then you are having a gain on the sale of the asset. If you get less than your book value, then you'd have a loss on the sale of the asset.